God, oh shit, I forgot to thaw the turkey. I'll just throw it in the deep fryer. Oh god, that was my computer! At least we got this cool crab game to play on our computer that is now going to be thoroughly deep fried because of the amount of heat that this is probably going to output. Anyway, everybody, welcome to the stream. We're playing Crab Champions tonight because I didn't feel like starting a new game on Thanksgiving. That seemed like a bad idea. That seemed like a terrible idea. And... you know, we're here. We like arthropods of all varieties here, and we also like spending, I think now it costs like 3 keys to get a power-up, or maybe 2. They changed it, though. I guess because people were able to grind out enough so easily that it's just like, well, we may as well make it harder. There have been some updates to the game. I don't recall if... last time I played this, the airstrike weapon was available, but if not, I will... you know what, we can... oh, jeez. I wasn't expecting the resub. Thank you.
Well, I do have a boyfriend that looks like a girlfriend, sometimes. That I've known for a long time. It's not confidential. I've got potential.
I'm going to show off some equipment for everybody here, because why not? This airstrike, you can see that takes forever to drop, like 3 whole seconds, but it hits like a truck. The electro globe. This is our sort of plasma coil weapon. I keep calling it plasma coil effect, kind of like, well, obviously after the weapon from Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, but there's probably a better name for it. The ice blast. This is our, well, it creates ice. What do you expect? A laser beam. This creates a little heat ring around the explosion location that deals damage over time. Kind of neat, and also very fast moving. Like, that might be the fastest of our throwing weapons. Got a black hole. Yes, it's shaped like a skull. And you can do that. It's basically like a DPS meter. Would be a simpler way to describe it. The black hole does this, and we don't really get a good look at the exact effects because there's no more enemies to get sucked around, but we can see that it does black hole stuff if we, I'm going to try and throw it at the... yeah, see, it pulls the skull. Do the rings and the rocks jingle... no, these aren't jiggle-boned whatsoever. They just sort of are stuck there, which is quite unfortunate. If we want jiggle bones, we have to go and, well, I guess it's not really jiggle bones per se, but we can make the crowns jump. I don't know what's up with the number of the crowns, because unsurprisingly I haven't counted them, but I don't think it's necessarily tied to your number of wins or anything, because I feel like the entire history of the game, it's been the same amount of crowns that show up in that fishbowl. Oh, that's okay. We probably should play this at some point again, you know, if you feel like having your computer set ablaze as well. The grappling hook. This does basically what you expect it to. You throw it, and you sort of go in an arc. Usually you overshoot your target a little bit. Probably fine, actually. But it does do a little bit of impact damage, so that's kind of handy. And, of course, a grenade. It explodes on impact. But we got an electric ability to start with, so I'm going all in on electricity with our stuff here. Let's take a look at our melee gear. This is the one I usually use. It's the pickaxe. Not very melee, as you can see. I mean, obviously, the ground slam does a little more damage, but it releases that linear shockwave, which is why I usually like it. The dagger is very small, and it does some damage. You can see it does like a plurality of hits. Well, you see, I guess that would require the enemies to have items, wouldn't it? Meanwhile, the just the generic crab claw has a little bit more of a round arc, but it doesn't do as much damage, which if you're using a melee weapon, most of the time you want it for damage, so that's why the hammer is pretty solid, because honestly, it doesn't really do quite as much damage, but it has a nice, huge blast radius, and it's got a dot effect. The katana is also pretty nice, too, because look at that jumping arc that you do. You can just get through... it's a very good weapon for, like, dodging. Here, I'm going to start going sideways, as crabs are known to do. check it out. Real good, actually. This thing is a lot of fun to use. But I think I'm going to stick with the pickaxe for now, just to have some more range. There's been a whole new one of... Wow, a whole one new gun added in the most recent update, which is this poison cannon, it's called. It applies a lot of poison stacks on impact, but you can see it's a 3-round burst kind of grenade launcher, which... What a concept! With 6 shots in the clip, so it's basically 2 shots before you have to reload, and of course it is slow as butts between each pull of the trigger. I've found that raising the firing rate through the various upgrades we can pick up doesn't actually let you pull more often. It just increases the rate that you spew out your 3-round burst at. So that's a little rough. A lot of these guns feel like just kind of slight variations. I'll pick up the lightning scepter later to show that off, but that's what I'm going to use. The ice staff is pretty nice. Mostly because it's like, hey, you can just point at things and drop the shots on them. There's some very specific gimmick builds with that are very funny, if I recall correctly. Our arcane staff is sort of like a weird grenade launcher of sorts, and shoots these big purple orbs that do damage and apply a magic-based stat debuff for some reason. The cluster launcher. It fires these weird red clusters. They used to look a lot grosser. I think they changed that. They were like, oh, that looks a little bit too like goopy and like it sticks around for too long. And we got a blade launcher here. This thing throws a saw blade that lands multiple hits per hit. I think you can do some fun stuff with this. I don't recall. The one I usually take is the minigun because it's got plenty of ammunition between reloads. So that means that you don't actually have to be good at aiming. That's not what that means at all. It's just that I'm slightly okay at it. Meanwhile, the rocket launcher is basically about what you would expect. We're getting consistent DPS because we're actually landing the shots, but I recall this thing being highly variable. Also, yeah, our rocket-propelled grenades are definitely coconuts full of gunpowder if you look real close to that model. The marksman rifle. This is... it's kind of a medium speed, medium damage sort of weapon. Kind of on the generic side, but we'll see that again in more depth as we go. Here's the orb launcher. It looks cool, but it's basically just sort of a type of machine gun with a really shit clip and a bit of an arc to the shot. Laser cannons. So this is it's another machine gun type weapon, but you have 2 of them. So hold left mouse button to shoot, right mouse button to shoot with the other one. Or you can do both at the same time for double damage. But that does mean that you can't, like, look down your sights because that's usually on the right mouse button. And you can see, get that little bit of zoom. You do also get some slow-mo going when you go in the air with that. So, yeah, there's some things with that can be a bit of a problem, in short. Crossbow is sort of a spread shot weapon in a nice flat line. This is... Well, it doesn't do a lot of damage per hit, but it's real good for taking out waves of just the same groundlings. So, not really a bad choice once you start buffing it. The Seagull, get it? It's like the Desert Eagle, the Deagle, because it's the same kind of big, heavy-hitting pistol. And I actually want to show that reload animation again. That thing looks like a complete piece of crap. I wouldn't trust that if I was you. Flamethrower does exactly what you think it does. I don't even know why I'm showing it to you, to be honest with you. Sniper. This is... I think this is what I use for doing the speedrun achievements where you get through a certain number of levels in a comparatively short time. And yeah, it's got a really good scope, as you can see. And it fires slower than heck, but the damage on it per hit, pretty good to start with. So this is really great with a particular perk item called Assassin, which gives you extra damage percentage every like couple of one-shots you do. Which sounds a little bit like Winmore on some level, but hey, it's very helpful later on, and as you probably could guess, this thing one-shots enemies very easily. It also has a hidden level of piercing to it, so that's nice. The burst pistol, I don't really remember this thing at all. Oh yeah, you just press the button one time and it fires 5 shots. Move along here. Auto shotgun. This is basically the sort of thing that you expect it to be. Very small for that type of weapon, really. Starts off with a quite tight spread, actually, though, and then sort of expands a bit. We got dual pistols, which are, again, kind of the sort of thing that you'd expect. Once again, you got 2 of them, so you can control them with both of your mouse buttons. Dual shotguns work very similarly, but they're shotguns instead. They fire quite slowly, but if you put all of that into an enemy in one shot, that's not bad. And lastly, or almost lastly, the auto rifle, which is kind of your most generic weapon out of all of them. It's okay at most things and doesn't excel at or be too good at any of them. So if you don't know what to pick, I guess that's a fair choice, and just be like, well, we'll figure it out as we go. Maybe the game will feed me some items that don't suck. But lastly, we've got the Lightning Scepter. The Lightning Scepter is a special type of fun weapon. You can see, first of all, it's got a nice little bit of scattering to it. But also, you jump in the air, and you use it up there, and you start floating. It's pretty good. And of course, yeah, it can electrify your enemies. Lightning stacks build up on enemies and are released as chain lightning damage when close enough to other enemies. So for those of you who are curious as to what the deal is, it's good for crowd control, which is very helpful in a game of this sort of like horde shooter kind of style. Now, let's take a look at our difficulty options here, because things have been changed a little bit. Difficulty is now highly modular. They, as far as I can tell, have taken away the generic easy, normal, hard difficulties. And instead, we can toggle some stuff on and off. So let's set things to default here. Let's take a look at the red stuff. We're not turning any of this on, by the way, because I just kind of want to breeze through this and go farm up some more keys, because trying to do stuff like getting some of the higher ranks and going for the speedrun achievements depleted those pretty severely. I mean, we have a good chunk now because I did a little run of this earlier, but why not, right? May as well resupply some of those. Even more, because as soon as another update happens, well, I'm probably going to end up farming all that out and have fun with it. So we get our first one here. This is just a flat enemy upgrade. Nightmare. Nightmare. This increases our enemy HP, damage, their attack speed, makes them move faster, and you just spawn more of them. So, yeah, that's about what you would expect. Locked slots. This one is actually quite frustrating at times. I'm surprised that it's only +1 to the difficulty level. You have to pay money in order to expand the size of your inventory up to the amount that you usually start with. And by that I mean in-game money, not real money. That would be really awful. And I would stop recommending this game as a consequence. Buffed enemies. So you get enemies with random... It's kind of like the elite effects in Risk of Rain, I guess, but a little bit simpler. Triple challenge. So triple challenge modifier on challenge portals, which is basically any of the ones that can provide you with 2 chests, they will have an extra thing to stack the odds against you, like, oh, it'll spawn fire areas on the floor, or, oh, you won't be allowed to heal, or, oh, it'll all be exploding enemies, and they won't deal damage to their compatriots when they die. One sec. This will add 3 modifiers instead of just 1. That's quite rough. Although, really, if I was going for a high challenge on a lot of these, I don't think I would go for those challenge levels anyway. Just by virtue of the fact that it would be painful. Ambushing elites. An elite spawns in the 3rd island of each biome, so basically you get an extra mini-boss that doesn't give you any special reward for it. You just have to tolerate it. Eternal Punishment. Taking damage lowers max health. Parentheses only applies when you have no armor. I've been in a position where you just get this as an effect of an item, but it's a bit of a pain in the butt. And by that, I mean, honestly, it could probably be a lot worse. Unfair Bosses. Gives you twice as many enemies to fight in the boss and mini-boss areas. Which, yeah, that turns a lot of them into a problem, especially if the game likes to spawn a lot of lightning crabs for you, because those guys are my nemesis. And if we see one, I will complain about what a fucker they are, probably. No safety net. This takes away basically your one-shot protection. So, not as relevant as I feel it sounds like, honestly. Ultra Chaos. Yes, this is a new and newly named set here. The biome order is randomized. Plus 50% chance to find higher rarity loot in chests. Enemy health, damage, and attack speed increased by 25%. I'm almost tempted to leave that on, but I don't think that'll be too much of a thing. Wandering Elites. Elites and bosses can spawn on normal islands, and elite/boss islands have an additional enemy to fight. Ooh, that's rough. Oh, boy. Yeah, so a lot of these are newly added, I think, from me getting to a higher difficulty rank, because I definitely was pushing this not too long ago. Slow recovery causes our healing to happen over time instead of instantaneously. Sometimes this doesn't have much of an effect because sometimes your only healing is already over time, but that doesn't actually sound that bad, really, depending on how fast it goes. Athletic enemies. Enemies can jump and attack while moving and are just more accurate. Well, entirely fair. And lastly, Immortal Snail. What a fantastic phrase. An immortal snail follows you on every island. It is lethal up close. What this means is keep moving or you're gonna die. And lastly, we're gonna go turn on some stuff to reduce the challenge, but it doesn't actually have any effect because, again, we're just doing this for fun. Relaxed gives us more starting health and greatly reduced enemy stats. Nice and simple. Ironclad starts with 3 armor plates. So what armor does, because I don't think I've ever properly explained this, that armor takes damage for you in place of your health, which is useful for things like, first of all, it negates this eternal punishment effect as long as you have armor, and second of all, it preserves your combo effect, which is based on how many enemies you killed since the last time you took damage. This is useful for a couple of items, but also just having the Ironclad, get some free health. Basically, as you take damage, it'll get soaked by an armor plate, and once you run out of that thing's durability, that'll stop the damage until the next instance you take. So if you would take, say, 100 damage and your armor plate has 12 vitality left or something, you'll take just enough to lose the plate, and then you won't take any more damage from that instance of damage, but the next one will start doing the regular damage until etc. Starting gift gives us a free item chest of the second tier on Island 1. So, hey, just free good stuff. Why not, really? Discounted shops. Oh, yeah, that's probably my favorite. Gets us items for cheaper because, yeah, building an economy-focused build in this game to allow you to pick up large amounts of items can frequently be massively overpowered. They've done some stuff to nerf it, but it still ends up being pretty damn strong in a lot of instances. Loot Goblin gives us the Bounty Hunter and Driller perks to start with, so we get a chance of getting an item from killing a large enemy or from breaking a rock. That's right, everybody. We are going Goblin mode. We are turning ourselves into a 1/1 red creature. I guess it kind of fits because crab, you know, it's red and small. Our crab, anyway. Although usually most crabs are blue in Magic, etc., etc. And lastly, Lucky, giving us a 100% chance to find higher rarity loot in chests. If I want to get that last one, I have to do more stuff on harder difficulties. And to be honest with you, I'll get to it someday. And lastly, our cosmetics over here, we can change what our crab looks like into something that looks goofy. Well, and by that I mean there's some fun animated skins in here. I don't dislike this stuff. The one for the speedrun challenges might be. Or does that even give you a skin? I mean, most of them are... You can see there's a lot of repeats. Probably just by virtue of the fact that, like, they only have so many. And this is how the game is handling. You get certain unlocks in one of multiple ways, at least for now. But mostly we get to look like a funny-looking crab. I was doing a run earlier that I quit out of, but we're going to skip that and we're going to go straight into our new run here. With all of our electrical effects on us. And see what we can handle, what we can get done here. See if we can get ourselves any halfway decent items. To see if my computer will tell me to stop doing what I'm doing, because, quite frankly, whatever tool my graphics card was using before to show a temperature no longer starts up on startup, unfortunately. I don't know what happened with that. Did NVIDIA just, like, get rid of that thing because they don't want people knowing how hot their computers get anymore? I bet it's related to the AI push, you know? Or at least I could see that happening. Oh yeah, we got these starfish who will rise up into the air and slam down on us like that. As starfish are known to do. They're quite famous for it, in fact. Strange game. And yeah, this green rock will emit zones that heal us. But we don't really need that right now. So, meh. Off we go. What have you got for us in the upgrade chest? Oh, it's just... That's right, because we've already got so many different item types in our inventory. This is not likely to get us a free buff to our good thing unless we just drop everything before we come in here. And why would I do that? Here, let's take the one that gives us a chance for more loot. And this greed chest area, we can get ourselves a second greed perk if we take no damage against this big horde of jerks. Greed perks are very, very strong, but they come with a downside that is usually pretty nasty. And once you get them, you cannot drop them, which is a problem for a wide variety of reasons. However, at least we still have the option to just pass it up. There's often a free item chest in here, so I was taking a look for that. Maybe I could have got something, but unfortunately, not this time. So let's crack this chest open and what's it got for us. Double Trouble. Max health multiplier increased, but so is enemy health. I don't know if I want that, but let's take a look at the other one. Leap of Faith, max health multiplier increased, but fall damage is enabled. We definitely don't want that. And you know what? Yeah, I'll take Double Trouble. We'll get some more HP going. We're still quite early, so I don't think this is going to cause us too much problem in terms of our damage dealing ability. But there are places where, even aside from the whole matter of not dying, it's just nice to have a good max HP statistic. If you get, for example, a perk called Health is Power, which gives you extra damage based on your current HP, up to a certain amount per stack of it that you have. So we may or may not see that, but probably not, actually. Ooh, Bubble Shot. That's fun. That'll give us a potential on-hit effect. And let me show off something new here, the Gauntlet Island. So this gives you up to 5 challenges that you can face here back to back. And you get to choose when to stop, but each time you beat one, you get an extra item added to your set. Like, for example, oh, this is far and away the best I've seen in a while. We have the no healing challenge applied to us, but we also get a legendary tier pickup. Legendary being your highest level of item. I think they're named common, epic, and legendary in this game, which is a bit of a holdover from when the very first tier was originally called rare. And I don't know how I feel about that conceptually. It does sort of feel a little bit like you're leaning into the style of like gacha games sort of rarity inflation, which is also a bit of a thing with like trading card games and shit like that too. So, you know, I find that to be moderately exploitative, or at the very least, like it sort of hides a lot of this information from people. So we've got our third challenge here. The second one makes enemy attacks ignite us, which is fine as long as we keep dodging, although becoming the heavy crab does make that a little bit harder. But maybe we can get through this with just sheer shock and awe, you know? Oh, maybe I shouldn't call it shock and awe when I'm using just the lightning weapon, because that is a monstrously silly and maybe slightly awful pun. Number 4, twinned enemies. Oh, we're getting a lot of extra dudes here. That's... Alright, just be careful. Try to not get set on fire. Ooh, something dropped something. A rock dropped an item too earlier, so... I completely forgot to mention that. Are those lightning ants using... Yeah, they have the fire visuals from the fire ants, as you might guess. Also, very funny to hear, like, shell hitting the ground kind of noises out of your staff. Thanks a lot, game. That's really funny. This vitality buff will not give us too much for the moment, but we'll take it anyway. Ooh, shrapnel. All right, so we got to dodge enemies exploding into a couple of orbs when they bite it. I'm sure we'll be fine. Probably. Yeah, see, that's not that much shrapnel. I think they nerfed that, actually. That it used to be quite a bit more for some enemies. And it definitely moved faster. But yeah, here we've got some of the lightning crabs. These aren't the bad ones. These aren't the elite lightning crabs. But you'll see that they throw out quite a lot of shots. Which was a huge problem for me back when I was trying to do the don't get hit challenges. Because they would just lay down a massive cover of suppressing fire. And you would have to do some, like, very silly back and forth a lot of the time in order to actually get out the way properly. We got freezing enemies, which... Well, I guess we can lean into multiple elements if we wish. I usually prefer not to do that, but I'm sure that's not too terrible. Pick up this ring of armor. That's pretty handy. They also finally removed the rather strange and frustrating choice that they used to have of... Oh, shit. Can I buy that? I need to sell something for that. Do I have 189 crystals worth of garbage to sell? And the answer is probably going to be no, but only 6% chance of shotgun blast. The hell with it. Give me up the ante. Yeah, that's right. Give me that extra damage multiplier. The DPS will be able to outstrip the amount of extra enemies that spawn. And in a lot of cases, sometimes spawning enemies is good. Gives you more money. So... Oh, boy. Yeah, there was a really kind of, like, dumb, in my opinion, thing that they used to have in this game where if a frozen enemy... Oops, I didn't mean to hit that, but that's fine. If a frozen enemy was hit by an attack that inflicted fire, it would immediately thaw the enemy. And it's like, okay, that's neat and strategically interesting precisely one time. After that, it's just like, oh, well, all right, now I'm even more at the mercy of item RNG than usual because I literally can't do these builds together. Otherwise, I don't do anything for myself. Anyway, thank fuck Noise Storm changed that. So now you can actually build like all the elements at once if you want. If you're a complete goofball, which, to be fair, I would expect very little less out of anyone. Dice shot. Ooh, yeah. Give me that. I mean... Okay, so it's only really going to double our bubble shot and our lightning shot, but hey. Give me the buff anyway. I'm sure I'll be able to find a use for that. Because Dice Shot is now... it used to be called Gold Dice, and it was a perk type item, which... I don't know that I've really explained that properly, but... Yeah, items have, like, subtypes because they go into different parts of your inventory there. Dice Shot now properly explains that it only affects your weapon mods. Whereas Gold Dice was very ambiguous before. And also on top of the fact that it was down here where you'd have shit like critical hits or things that give you extra treasure chests or stuff like the incredibly busted faulty chests item, which if I get that, well, I'll probably basically have an orgasm on camera, and that'll be a little bit awkward for everybody. So what the faulty chest item does is it gives you a chance for sometimes, and when you take an item from a chest, it will not despawn the other items, and it will allow you to take another one. And this can go on indefinitely if you are lucky enough, giving you the possibility of basically taking everything from a box, and sometimes you can get buffs that will give you so many more items from your treasure chests, just period, that you'll be able to take wild amounts of items from even a single treasure chest. It's pretty gross if you get lucky enough. But yeah, I don't think Gold Dice actually affected that, and the game was not good at explaining that. Now that they've moved it up to a different section, it's quite a bit more obvious. And of course, we took double vision because naturally I'm a complete loot goblin in a lot of games, really, but this one among several others. So I'm absolutely going to go for about as much stuff as I can get as possible. Lucky Dice perk in Noita. I don't actually know that game very well, but I will freely admit that there's actually not a lot of games that I do know in general, so I will just say I would presume so, yes. Maybe I should get that. I guess I should look and see if it's on sale, but definitely a lot of stuff doesn't seem like it's been on sale for the Steam Black Friday sale. Maybe that'll change sometime soon-ish. Ah, okay, I gotcha. Now, the critical hit chests have changed a little bit here. We've still got our sharpshooter, we've still got our Bret Hart, we've still got our hot shot here that give us critical hit chance, but here's a new one, anti-crit. Increases your damage, but reduces your critical hit chance. This is much more consistent, so I'm going to take it just by virtue of the fact that they didn't give me the Ring of Wisdom, I believe it's called, which gives you a critical hit chance that builds up after winning every island. And that's basically the main way I like to play crit builds, because otherwise you're stocking a bunch of crap in your inventory just to get that running until you start getting to a point where you can replace certain things. Pardon me, let me try speaking correctly. And use a little bit more of the part of my nose that's not as congested. God, I wish I could have had the window open for more than like a week this fall. But it was very hot a lot of the time and then got cold very quickly. Oh well. We'll take the crystal combos and get ourselves some more money on the go here. Because, yeah, we're up to our 5x combo, so our crystal output from these guys, that's going to be pretty big. We'd love to see it. We love to earn large amounts of money. Tons of secrets, very hard. Gotcha. I would say, I guess, a lot of games that sort of roguelike persuasion are, but I don't know, maybe I've just played enough of them where it's like less than I used to think. And it feels slightly odd to say that, but hey. Icebreaker. Ice damage is also dealt to nearby enemies. That's not as huge right now, but nice that it's been moved to a relic slot. It's quite handy. Take the performance bonus. Gets us a chance to some even more loot. And oh yeah, heat sink. That is something my machine could probably use more of when I'm playing this game, but also it accelerates the rate at which our skill recovers from its cooldown. Skill, of course, being the phrase that the game uses now for grenades, because, well, it's not just a grenade anymore. It used to just be a grenade in the earliest stages of the game, and then they added some more build customization. The Beam Skull has some kind of threatening attack patterns, but as long as you can learn to read this boss, this one is really easy to figure out, actually. Oh. Oh, dang. That's kind of incredible, actually. It seems quite rare that you get into a position like that. Like, I think people have figured out how to do all the unlocks for the most recent set of stuff in Vampire Survivors. Passcodes were available for it much earlier, and there were a couple of things that I did have to break down and use the passcode for, but for some of the new Castlevania characters. But in my defense, I don't know the Castlevania series that well. Here's what Orbiting Shot looks like, by the way, for just a brief demonstration. Ah, yes, now we're a real proper sorcerer. You best believe I'm not keeping that, though. That's quite awkward. What have we got here? We got... Yeah, we'll take something to give me some more things to throw around here. Why not? Never seems to hurt. Yeah, it's Orbiting shot is a very difficult thing to use for, well, for most weapons, because keep in mind also, this game very much does want to lean on you having most of your weapons be guns. Or gun substitute staves, pardon me. I don't know why I said staves. I know it's pronounced staves. Sometimes I go back to that for some reason because it's a very weird word. Hey, we got a second chest this time. Nice. Pure luck. Pure luck-oleum. I think the weapon that you would want to use orbiting shot with, if anything, is the ice staff, I think. And I'm going to take blind fire because, yeah, okay, we get some more spread, but this is a weapon that loves spreading out anyway. We'll go fight this mini boss because the game gave us one as a free choice. Oh, I took a bunch of hits there. Well, rest in peace, our flawless victory potential. Because I was playing that like a complete goofball, but at least we didn't take damage. Layered explosion, I think, is going to be the one that I go with for now. If we can get some things that spawn turrets, that can be very powerful. I mean, it can be pretty good anyway, but all of the turret spawning abilities, when this game first came out, they were regular perk slot items, and you just started a level with a couple of extra turrets helping you out, and they were kind of underwhelming. And then they moved them over to an ability modifier, so every time you throw your grenade or grenade substitute, it would spawn those turrets. And you can amass huge waves of stuff. Oh yeah, the blood crystals now have a big red skull in them to indicate that they're a little bit nasty. But of course, they don't spawn an item or enemies unless you break them while the island is still active. So, no biggie. Okay, we're going to chuck our anti-crit because there's our Ring of Wisdom. And condense that down. Another greed perk Horde Island here. Let's see some fun stuff here, game. Come on. Out of the probably... Oh, no, we got a second chest from Double Vision. Nice. That Double Vision is coming in pretty strong. If you have exactly one chance-based enhanceable weapon mod in your inventory, it is 1,000% more likely to chip. Okay. All right. That's fun. That is fun. So, very specifically, this is going to boost the rate of our bubble shot going off. And as you can see, it is maxed. I'm also going to take out Hoarder Backpack to try it out here. You can pick up all loot and chests, but can no longer drop pickups from your inventory, salvage loot, or share loot with teammates by pinging. Actually, no, I'm not going to take that. That is way too dangerous. The inability to discard stuff that I no longer need seems like a bit of an issue, because our build is an evolving thing, and we'd like to wait until everything is set in stone before we do something stupid like that. And then we really want a lot of upgrade levels in a row. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing if you can get lucky enough to put it to use. Oh yeah, here we go. Get some sniper turrets. And they aren't necessarily the fastest DPS, but they hit quite reliably. And hey, it's just another thing to have on the field fighting for you. So I do love my turret-oriented builds. Not necessarily so much with this particular grenade slot item, but hey, what can you do? Let's pay some HP and get some more money. Only one shot with that one, tragically. Shockwave. Oh yeah, that... Checklist. Hey, that gives us some free damage over time. I should probably word that more accurately, but... I don't think I need that many more drillers, not compared to taking a look at some more possibilities here. Hard target, rare treasure. Ooh, I might have to discard a few items here in order to try to get that, because that is extremely good. Yeah, this isn't going to give us too much. Actually, hold up. Dice shot. I don't really feel I need that so much anymore, because... Although it does enhance our triple shot. Yeah, I'm going to dump the freezing enemies and pick up rare treasure instead. Gives all enemies a small chance to drop some free items. So, probably a little bit more consistent than Bounty Hunter in the greater scheme here. Oh, the Elite Hornet. This thing can be really a pain in the butt. And part of it is that those yellow shockwave rings tend to be a lot slower to expand. Although I think they sped them up, so that ends up taking away one of the big problematic things from it, at least. The Ring of Vigor. This gives us some free HP at free max HP at the end of every level, which just kind of translates into free money thanks to gold coating. So, of course, we're taking that. Plus, relics are so rare to come by in general, so why not just take them basically whenever you get them? Well, I guess it depends if you have other things available. Like, for example, we'll take this Ring of Fury, but I don't know that that's going to last. At least it gives us a fairly consistent damage up for a good period of time. So I would be hard-pressed to call it bad. But compared to some stuff you can get, you'll probably want to replace it eventually with something that's a little bit more specialized. Because that's how these kind of builds go, is like, hey, find a specialization and put it to great use. And I'm taking that checklist, and yeah, so here's a challenge arena, or challenge room, or whatever it was called, with a landmine rain. Yeah, landmines raining down from the sky at random. That sounds terrible. But I think we'll be able to put up with it. Just dodge around. You know, don't stay in one place too much. Ooh. That wasn't my finest hour, that's for sure. But that's okay. We still have plenty of armor, so we are okay with spending a small amount there. But we got our 2 econ chests here. Come on, show me the goods. We got bonus crystals. Ooh. Yeah, I think I will take that over Tony's black card, because even though getting an enhanced bit of ability to get money at the shop, buy stuff at the shop, versus just getting more money, I think the bonus crystals gives us more money overall, basically, compared to one level of Tony's card. So, and then meanwhile, these ones are not quite almost any of what I'm looking for, but I will take I'll take the special delivery, because that means we need fewer rerolls, basically, to get through everything. Or rerolls will be more valuable. Same basic idea. Oh, I misread that skull as garbage skull. I was going to be like, that's rude. But no, it says barrage skull, because they fire a lot of shots. But they were all, like, on fire, so I thought it was, Usually the barrage skulls I don't think shoot fire shots. And it's not like we're in an area where they get an enhancement of any kind, so... Ooh, enhanced turrets. Magnify. This one is completely new. Increases the area of effect on your stuff. It's helpful. For now, we're taking this XL totem, so we have a little bit more to fight here, but we are going to get more treasure chests out of the deal. And we are going into the greed chest room in the hopes of finding some nice stuff. Big Bones is a pretty good one. Makes our crab larger, but we gain, like, we gain both attack and HP. I almost said attack and damage. Yeah, okay. You know, attack and damage, two things that are absolutely not the same. Well, I guess after calculations, who can tell, right? But... Or Rising Star is nice. Rising Star spawns more enemies, but they all drop more HP. Double Trouble, that's the one that we saw before. Slippery Slope. Gain crystals, but also lose health at the start of each island. So this is interesting. This seems like a good way to farm money, just by virtue of the fact that we have gold coating and we have some regen going. I'm going to give it a shot. And lastly, oh yeah, here's Rising Star. Hell yeah, we're taking that. For sure. Yeah, we did lose a good chunk of HP there, but we're starting to gain it back. Health shot would be a nice thing to have, but we'll see if we can start getting that at some... I'd have to start going to the health chests then. That's not really a huge problem. So yeah, I took all three of those greed perks. I don't think I was expecting to. But dang. They gave me some fun-sounding stuff. And I'm sure I will live to regret it later, but that's okay. It's not like anything bad happens to me if I lose the run. You add to your role in D&D. Yeah, I mean... I've been thinking a lot about, like, things that are basically related to RPG stat rolls, mostly because in the back of my head, I'm like, I would love to make a game that is sort of like a little bit roguelike-ish, but also very much in sort of the strategy RPG vein. It's because Lear's mentioned Disgaea when I was playing Satisfactory with him, and now I'm just like, man, I haven't thought about that in forever. And thinking that I didn't dislike it at the time, but I probably would like it even more now from the amount of roguelikes that I play. It'd be like, oh yeah, okay. That's fair. Now this doesn't just feel like something I'm taking with me to have something to do. Because I mostly played the original Disgaea through the DS port, which... Yeah, somehow I don't feel like that's the best way to experience that game. Just taking a guess. Not because I remember it being bad. Not necessarily. I mean, I think I remember it being okay. But just because... I mean, the DS was struggling to do N64 stuff properly. I don't think that it's necessarily going to be that well equipped to handle a PS2 game, even when it's that much 2D. But that is the boss at the end of our first loop, and we got 2 keys out of the deal. Hooray. Binding of Isaac play... Oh, God. Oh. So, YouTube recommended me a couple of Isaac videos today, and I'm not really a big fan of Isaac. I mean, it plays okay, but I don't really enjoy it for various reasons, thematically or gameplay wise. But I'm pretty sure that a big part of why it does that is because I was looking at a lot of the soundtrack to the game Look Outside, which is like probably the big horror game right now is Look Outside, other than the Silent Hill one. And as a note, I'm probably not likely to play Look Outside on stream anytime soon either, because I feel like it would probably frustrate me a little bit because of the survival horror style mechanics. But it is something that I want to do a video on, like the things that I've observed about the game in terms of there's some very interesting thematic shit going on there. But yeah, setting all of that aside, yeah, I don't know, something about that seemed like it bothered me. I was just like, man, I don't even like this game. What the hell are you doing to me, YouTube? But I think it's probably because of something like that. When did I get an equalizer? Did I just suck up some random item at some point and not realize? Okay, yeah. So we're going to send this thing to the Shadow Realm. We'll pick up the enhanced turrets, but the other thing not necessarily so useful. Boomerang shot. Actually, I think this is the one that you use with the electric, the ice staff, but you can see sort of how that works. It takes a while for it to kick in, actually. I'm kind of shocked. When Day Breaks SCP. I don't know that one off the top of my head. Look Outside seems like a very interesting game by virtue of the fact that it very much deals in this theme, and I don't know if it's necessarily intentional, but it feels like a game where a large part of it is based on like, hey, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover because like obviously all your friends are also turned into monsters too, and just dealing in this idea that all of these monsters used to just be people. And I think that's kind of neat. Oh, well, in that case, that is kind of like exactly what's going on with Look Outside. Glass cannon. I like my health, and I like my amount of items in chests, so I'm going to send both of those away. Big rip to those. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the build this time. So yeah, I've mostly been experiencing. I wouldn't be surprised if there was, because I think that Francis Coulomb, or whatever the guy's name is, I forget exactly, and I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly either because French Canadian, but it's spelt very much like the Coulomb, which is a unit of charge, I believe. It's something related to electricity. Anyway, I think the guy has a list of stuff that was like major inspirations somewhere out there that you can look through. Yes, basically, but I think there's like an extra E at the end, but otherwise it's roughly that. Oh yeah, see, there's health is power, which is a thing that I sort of mentioned earlier, which feels like a good cause to increase our HP some more, because really, why not? But yeah, I believe the fellow has a list of some of his inspirations out there as a thing that can be looked at, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Which, yeah, a big part of things that I know about that are just like, I pretty much intuited that it's a Canadian developer from just seeing some of the very French-Canadian references in a couple of places. And me just being like, oh yeah, I understand that very quickly because that's a very French name, or I know enough Canadian stuff from hanging out with so many Canadians that I recognize that, etc., etc. I've seen some pretty interesting stuff that you can do in that game. Outside of watching streamers, which mostly the streamer that I've been watching has been friend of the show, Plastic Allen, who I don't think he's in here, but I still won't say any of it to avoid spoiling him. Because I don't recall everything that he's done, but the most recent thing that he did, which I guess I will spoil that much, is completely navigating the landlord's apartment and paying off all the rent and fighting the big ugly mole creature. And then his game crashed not long afterwards because like his whole computer died at the same time. It wasn't like, oh, the game crashed. The game seems to be relatively low on crashes. For anyone for whom that is a specific concern, there you go. But yeah, it was just a PC crash. Thankfully, he saved not long before fighting the trench mole. Excuse me. So he didn't lose much progress by just having it die like 10 minutes after he killed a big boss. In one of the very rare instances where we can be like, hey, yeah, ultimately it ended up being fine when your whole computer crashed, right? Take that. Spore explosion. So I don't know how potent this is going to be here because of our lightning orb and our turrets, but yeah, it creates these big mushrooms that can explode when you shoot them. And they apply poison stacks. That's quite a powerful buff. We'll take it. We're not going to be too unhappy about that, all right? Or bubble shot. Blind fire is perfectly fine. Can we do anything good at this upgrade totem? The upgrade totem is more expensive than just buying the upgrade at the shop, but that's usually okay. In this case, we'll buy that, and it will be the only thing we can do. Dang. Sorry, I had to sneeze. But yeah, as we loop, we get more boss fights in each boss fight. More bosses in each boss fight, I guess. And this is new. Islands don't have invisible walls around them. They just have an out-of-bounds thing, and if you spend too long out of bounds, you get teleported back to the spawn point. Well, at least they're generous and they don't just kill you if you spend too much time out of bounds. Not like, oops, your crab has escaped. It went home to go retire. Oh no, it walked into the back of a Red Lobster truck or something. That'd be terrible. Ooh, money is power. I think it's a little early to be really putting that to use, so we'll take our cross shot instead. Checklist, because we'd rather have the damage. And get us some more armor. Keep our thing alive a little bit. But yeah, it wouldn't really be too surprising if a big inspiration was the SCP thing that you mentioned. Even aside from the fact that they're so freely able to be used licensing wise, it's just very common for people to surprise. They're quite popular generally. Big claws gives us some more melee range. We really have not been using that melee weapon, but hey, it's fine. Torpedo shot. Ooh, that sounds like it could be fun. So let's go for that and get a bit of a hiccup. Oops. And sure, I'll take the double shot for some more possibility of just spreading out our attacks a little bit, because that is quite strong, at least in theory. This is a good weapon for dealing with large crowds of enemies at once. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing we have that armor, because otherwise we would be losing our combo quite consistently. That wouldn't be great. All damage penetrates enemy armor. That is interesting. Potentially useful? It seems a little situational. I think we want the Tony's amulet the most out of those, because, yeah, 5 more items in each shop. That's pretty great. And we'll take the combo ring just to really pad out the numbers there a little bit. And go for a random chest. Yeah, we've only got 2 spots for more relics, so the relic chest probably would end up at least partially going to waste. Taking a lot of hit from these sniper crabs. That's probably mildly embarrassing in terms of, but at this point, I'm sure people are used to me playing any video game not well. Ring of healthy turrets, that'll let our turrets just hang out on the battlefield more, but we still only have just the 1, really, so we would like to get some stuff to get more of those on the go. If the game feels like letting us have any of that. I think skill chests are the one we would want to go to have a chance of that, but we also would want to have some better chances of getting the purple items, I think. Meanwhile, we got quite a lot of enemies coming in here. Which is completely normal for the challenge type islands. And that can prove to be another issue with that one difficulty modifier. If you come into one of these, you're gonna have a bumpy ride for sure. Yeah, we'll take more bubble shot. Why not? Crystal combo, yeah. With our ×8 combo going on here, the amount that that's going to give us is going to be quite large as we go here. Ooh, what are you? Enlarged skeleton. Well, yeah, this is not actually being very useful to us anymore. So we'll take that. Take a bunch of this stuff. Get the dice shot going. Some more of those. Crit rate looking 41%. Now might not be a bad time to start stacking those, but I don't know. Let's try a reroll. Yeah, see, it was worth it. We got double vision. It's always nice to get anything that'll give us more item drops. Ooh, yes, sentry turrets. Yeah, sure, we'll buy out on this, basically. Run our money right into the ground and get ourselves the ability to drop some more summons. It's crit damage. It's not necessarily the most consistent at this point. Grab our key. More cross shot and ooh, another health is power, but also banana. What's the threshold on our health is power? 2,500. We don't need another one of those yet. Instead, oh, banana. I would consider playing that game, but it's really long, so... And just so much stuff in there. I would want to go for 101% in it. And I would find that to be monstrously frustrating. Ooh, yeah, that does kind of run counter to the ring of favoritism there. I suppose it's probably okay for now. Depending on how many more we ever get of that or the bubble shot. Take the grill. Double tap. Chance for shots to do damage twice. That doesn't seem as... I mean, that seems useful, but not as much as some of the other stuff I could get. This one has... Yeah, that has streamer loot, so that gives us a chance at better items. I'd rather take that, invest in the future, and... my luck being hopefully less terrible in that future. Although, admittedly, I can't tell you for sure if it will be. Ooh. It's Harvest instead of Flawless for that crown, but hey. It's a Horde, which means that it's super easy, and also Health Chest, because I would like to try to get a chance at the Health Shot item. Because that would help us out immensely with the whole issue of, like, us continuing to brush the bottom of the barrel here. Ring. Look at that in a second. That's the one I think it is. I am not completely sure if I want to... Yeah, get an extra chest when flawlessly clearing an elite or boss island. I don't know what I would dump for it. Oh yeah, I do have that Ring of Fury, which is not doing a lot. I mean, there's a chance that that won't do a lot either, but... I'm willing to use it at least for a bit. It's... No, that's Ring of Defense. Space. Just sell that for the most money, I guess. Come in here, and yeah, that's... We dropped to 1 HP. Heck yeah. Love to see that. Eesh. Well, at least the money we're getting from this is pretty good. Take some more turret buffs. Why not? The massive cloud of electrical stuff that's happening there is pretty good. Take endurance for now, although eventually we're going to probably want to dump that for something else. But for now, it will definitely do some good for us. There we go, health shot, finally. Yeah, that'll help us get a nice chunk of money. I think I just heard a really incredible noise there. What's that damage combo giving us? Where are you? Oh, yeah. Plus 45% right now for each level of combo. That's pretty solid. And we have plenty of money, so we can grab ourselves a good chunk of stuff. The cross shot, sentry turrets. Ooh, yes. More big crab bones. This spark shot. These burn. They do not. That up. Yeah. Add this out. Oh, it's maxed out? Wow. Didn't know that was a thing that the game would tell me. Or that it would max out that easily. Eesh. Ooh, nice. Yeah, we'll pay some of that and get nothing of value. Oh well. I was really hoping for a little better, but what can you do? Oh, that's some pretty good firing rate going. Nice, 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 nice. I can make my computer cry effectively. I don't know what it's done to deserve that. Really, I should probably be a little bit more careful and, you know, time like this because, hey, computer parts already weren't cheap. And the problem is just getting worse. And this time it's on multiple fronts, everybody, because not only is there the matter of tariffs and stuff to deal with. Oh, God, that heals me, like, immediately from the amount of endurance, because I guess it triggers after a slippery slope. That's neat. Not only are there tariffs to deal with, but, of course, certain other parts are going on because all the tech companies are currently investing in the big bubble. So stuff like RAM is going up because all these companies need RAM in order to power their AI shit. And that is causing problems for people being able to have access to it. So isn't that wonderful? Except the exact opposite of that. I think it would be nice if developers could just take a while of like, we're not going to keep advancing any of these things because really, I don't think graphics have needed to look better for a good while, and improvements are comparatively marginal with each iteration because that's how it goes. It's diminishing returns, and on the other side of things, it's like the The system requirements, I don't think they're actually like increasing exponentially to counter the log increase of the other side of the equation, but it definitely feels a little bit like it at times. Ooh, fuse totem. Better hit that real quick. For the exploding enemies perk. We can take that if we wish. I suppose really I should actually get around to dumping either the endurance or regenerator perks, because I don't need both of those. In fact, I'm going to dump endurance because we also have health shot. What do we got in here? What's the other one? Blender. Yeah, we'll take the blender. And we'll take the heat sink and move on to a skill chest location. Now, we want to be a little bit careful around that gold rock. Oh, fuck. As soon as I start thinking anything, the game is like, by the way, since the gold rocks will give you a zone that increases your max HP, unfortunately, they're very fragile. So I think like either an enemy bit it or something, or it exploded from our chain lightning. Either way, you used me, Skinner. You used me. And we didn't get all of our bonuses, sadly. Big claws, yeah, why not? Yeah, even more of that, because at this point, why the hell not? I hear starfish spawning in. Oh, I completely somehow didn't break open that blood rock. Incredible. I am shocked, actually. Kind of genuinely, because I was definitely firing on it. Okay, what do you got for me, greed chests? Leap of faith? No. Damage seeker. I don't think I want to take that. I like increasing my max health more. Seems useful. Dump that. And what have we got for sale here? Take the layered explosion. Ooh, split ability. That can be quite potent. Supercharged. Bubble shot. Ooh, yeah. Collector gives us a lot of free damage. Because I usually stack these things to the heavens. So anything that rewards me for that, heck yeah. Lightning. Chance for critical hits to chakra. It's not as good as it sounds. Split ability. And yeah, spend the rest of our cash on those bonus crystals. Get our damage nice and high. Yeah, sadly, we took hits that didn't deal damage to us, so no double gold chest for us. Rest in peace. Another rare treasure. Sure. Don't mind if I do. And more of the vampire upgrade. I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! Thank you, Nicolas Cage, for the sheer amount of effect you've had on our culture. You very strange man. Coral amulet. Do I have a place for that? Probably not, but I'll take a look anyway. Ring of Armor is not actually as powerful as all that because we've been keeping our armor plate count up pretty high. Two of the same icon there because we also saw the Bubble Blast ability in there. Thank you, game, for making that nice and confusing. It's open. Damage shot. Alrighty. Now for some more economy boosters here. Yeah, we're getting bonked around a little bit here by all kind of things. And look at this massive wall of turrets that spawns when we get our ability splitting effect going. Incredible. Just the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. Aside from all those other things you've seen that are pretty ridiculous. Excuse me. Loading. Why not? Well, that's perfectly fine, and I completely understand. Have a nice rest. See you some other time. Ooh. Now, I gotta see if I can make space for that bonus chests item. And I believe I can. I don't want to drop collector for it because that's too much health. Or too much damage, rather. Maybe I don't need... Well, I don't need special delivery because I only have one of those. And I already get enough of that buff from another thing. So, yeah. Grab that. Yes, let's try not landing on the expanding damage ring. Otherwise, I'm going to feel real silly. And I don't need the help. Not from these bozos either. Eesh. Pick that up, because... Can. Oh, there's our last enemy, just all the way out there, blending in with that much of the background, somehow. Yeah, because we killed a bunch of enemies. We get our first bonus chest for the sheer number of kills. Take that bonus crystals. Or those. I actually have no idea if that's more or less powerful than the other one. Yeah. Burn a bunch of health for some more money. It's fine. We can get all that back, so. Take that. Ooh, okay, okay, sure. Spend down a good chunk there. Yeah, I think all of these are just guaranteed to trigger with a single stack at this point. Except for the shotgun blast, somehow. That might change things. Yeah, that makes it guaranteed. So I don't know if that affects the if the number affects damage for any of those. But certainly, if not, we don't have any real reason to buy more of any of those. Other than just making number go up. Lightning shot, I think there is actually a certain value to it, though. So. But yeah, now we're making a whole mess of particles. Fortunately, we took actual hits here, so... Take that. I don't think we need the other thing too much, the extra health shot. Checklist, of course, is just good. Good choice for more damage obtained. Ooh, that's Flawless Victory 1 and Double Vision I saw. So, yeah, we're getting plenty of upgrades in this set that I don't usually find to be the best anyway, but hey. Collector, that's a pretty nice thing to get multiples of. What's that giving us so far? 540%. Could probably be higher, but hey. For now, it's doing excellent work. And open it up. Grab that thing. And get some more banana. Oh, banana. Yeah, I definitely don't need all this power at this point. I just wish the game would give me a setup where I can get the flat max HP buff in a fairly safe location, because the percentage increase is nice, but it's a multiplication problem. So just continuing to increase one side of it is going to slow down how fast your gains are. Meteor shower. I don't remember what the falling rocks look like. Oh, there they are. Those are quite large. And they emit bouncing sparks when they hit. That's... Ooh. Dang. Generate. Where's my ethereal armor? Because Ring of Regenerating Armor is just an upgrade from that, really. You know what? Can I dump for valued customer? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna dump the Bounty Hunter because it's not actually that strong in the greater scheme. Not compared to the other thing, because comparatively few enemies are counted as large. So, Rare Treasure gets us more drops overall just by virtue of the fact that there's more things for us to get drops from. Another banana. And Sharp Claws, that's fine. Supercharged. We should start getting some pretty good HP per item we pick up. Juggernaut, but I don't know if I'd want to drop anything for that. I have to see. Driller is getting us too much loot for me to feel like that's an okay drop. Regenerator is probably not that high value. We get enough healing with our health shots. So I'm okay with doing it that way. And take that. And yeah, now we're down to 1 HP, but I'm sure we'll be okay. We've got plenty of armor. I don't know how much HP we need if we have that. And I mean, if we just do something like that, that's going to clean it up easily. Ooh, quad key. Very nice. Very good. Take the checklist. More damage incrementing fun times. Damage shot. Yeah, I sure hope it does. Pretty weird if it didn't, but hey. The hell do I know? Take that. Yeah, we're definitely reaching a point where I want more health shot in order to be able to keep up with this. So, arguably, dumping Regenerator was not necessarily the play to keep our HP as high as we want it, but again, it's a thing I'll be able to fix. It's not that big of a problem, I swear. Until I find out otherwise, I guess. Shotgun rate is maxed out. Okay. Big dagger arc. Damage shot. Again. Oh, I think there was a glass totem over there that I completely missed out on. Yeah, just keep stocking up on those bananas, I guess. This one will take valued customer instead. Just as a note, because I know that earlier I discarded the ethereal armor relic for the ring of regenerating armor or whatever it's called. They do stack. On like every third island, you will get 2 armor plates back. I just don't necessarily find that to be necessary. Yes, I know how I worded that, and it wasn't very good. But in my defense, I don't know. Ow. Yeah, the massive salvos that the elite lightning crabs let out, kind of a pain in the ass. I think I said that I was going to say something about that earlier, and I never got to. Don't quite know why, but I just never got to. Not completely certain as to where I'm getting hit from. Oh, I think now it's just that I'm on fire. But before that, I wasn't sure. Spore shot, that could be quite powerful. Oh, shit. That was the wrong thing. I think I wanted to keep that because I think that was an armor plate. So that's just free protection that we threw away because I misaimed a little bit. Yeah, more of those strimmer loots. And see, here, we will take all the health that's on the floor. Even though it's not necessarily as strong. Just to get us a little bit closer to something, but it wasn't by that much. Especially not with how our HP meter is ballooning at this point. Now, let's go over here. Let's spend as much money as this will allow me on health shots. Which was not very much money that it allowed me to spend on health shots. And now we spend down the rest of our everything here on Collector. And each perk slot is now worth 72% extra damage. So we're going to maul things, I'm pretty sure. With our sheer amount of damage that we've got going. Okay, what am I missing? Who am I missing? Oh, there you are, buddy. Where the hell were you hiding? Not that I necessarily blame you or anything, but eesh. And we get an extra chest. Excellent. Splash damage. Yes, yes, yes. The other things look good, but splash damage, that sounds pretty handy. Take the damage shot, and... hey, more health shot. Excellent. Not that I think we're ever going to seriously be above like 1 HP ever again, except for a very brief period at the end of a round. But hey, it gets us more money through gold coating, so basically it's just another chest type that makes things very silly. I'm still not 100% sure what targeting shot does. I would assume it's extra shots that target enemies on their own or something, but that's such a non-specific description anyway that it's not the most helpful. Wind Waker's minigame. Sploosh. Wait, no, that's something. I love the sounds in that game very specifically because I think it's very funny to listen to it and hear that he's like operating a tape recorder basically for the fanfare. Because you listen to it and you'll hear that little like solenoid switch in there. And I don't know, I just think that's quite funny to have that in the universe of Zelda. That this is the first audio recording mechanism that we've seen in the entire franchise. And I don't know that we've seen recording technology anywhere else in the Zelda series for audio. Again, with a big asterisk that there's a lot of Zelda games that I haven't played yet, especially ones that are post Twilight Princess. So what I'm saying, I could be completely full of shit here. And in fact, under most circumstances, I usually am quite full of shit, so... Yeah, sure, take that. Why not? It's here. And it costs us nothing. You know, that reminds me, I'm pretty sure I could play Wind Waker Rando on hardware. I just have never tried that out before, so... Yeah, I mean, there's technology, sure. It's just that I think that's the very first instance that I know of that is specifically for recording. For, like, any sort of... Well, I guess in that case it's more playback, technically, but you have to have recording in order to have playback. And I just think that's kind of interesting. I just think they're neat. Wait. Yeah, that's fun. We all know this genre is basically just about number go up, and again, we get some very fun-looking number go up in this game. Ooh, we got our flawless reward chest there. Nice. And the sheer amount of health that we picked up from that, although I have a feeling that's not going to last. Yeah, true. Four Swords of... Yeah, I didn't play Four Swords Adventure, so I was like, did I do anything with that? And I did not. The one I was thinking of that was, like, more multiplayer-oriented that I played was Triforce Heroes. And I don't remember if that game was good or not, so... But I did play it with someone that I don't really like very much anymore, so... One might assume that that would have an effect on where my opinion goes. I can't tell you if it does or not. Because... hell if I remember if I liked the game. Feels like that would be the first part of things, right? A little more fire rate, why not? Oh yeah, by the way, our critical hit chance is now above 100%. So this would be the point where if we still had, like, sharpshooter or hot shot, we would be dumping those, but I'm literally just doing it with the Ring of Wisdom, so... Hey, free guaranteed bonus damage. Excellent. You'd love to see it. Probably. Or you don't dislike seeing it anyway, I guess. Oh yeah, I don't have enough health for that. Of course not. I don't have enough health for much of anything at this point. We're definitely in the silly build territory of the roguelike now. This is when you're just like, okay, yeah, I've got something really stupid happening to me, and we're getting very good results out of it anyway, so I'm not going to complain. We completely obliterated those guys. That's fantastic. Oh, crystal asteroids. That's not an amazing one, but it does give you more free loot if you win the luck roll. Unfortunately, that means that if I were to pick it up, it would probably be detrimental to us and we would never see it. Oh well. What are our chances for any of those splits? On one hand, also, I guess by this part of the run, things are feeling a little bit more automated. Because it's just like, hey, yeah, my build is mostly complete. How much more do I even have to consider for any of this? The answer is not that much. Not that much. I guess that barrel explosion could be useful. I just kind of immediately gone, nah. That doesn't seem terribly fair in the greater scheme. Oh well. Yay, more health shot. We may eventually be in such a position where we get our numbers to not go straight to 1 at the start of every level. I don't think it'll happen, but it could happen. That'd be a huge surprise, really. Look at this absolutely grotesque mess that we just emit from our staff. Oh, that's fun. That is incredibly goofy. Yeah, sure, we'll take that, because why not? We got space for it. Yes, indeed, Retro. It's crab time. It's time for crab. We are doing crab things in this crab game. Crab people. Crab people. Wait, no, that's something else. I think I'd be more worried about being subject to the pincer attack in this sort of an area, but... or anywhere in this game, really. But I think we're okay in that regard. It can get kind of laggy when you start, like, doing huge amounts of stupid shit. Obviously, I've been in this run a while. The game is saying that it's been almost an hour and 40, but it feels like more. So, unsurprisingly, with the amount of particle effects flying around everywhere and a bunch of other stupid crap happening, I can definitely cause this game to choke things a little bit. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily, like, naturally laggy outside of that. Like, yeah, if you push it, sure, but... Excuse me. Yeah, just assume that I screwed up the pronunciation. Gold coating? Sure. Take that. And shotgun blast, because that's like the only one I can actually take. Which really just means that I should probably condense something down into more money, but... Oh well. Sure, let's go for the anvil area, because I haven't done one of these in a very long time. The anvil reward will let you upgrade certain perks a little bit. So that could be quite neat. Alright, so we get to go over here and take a look at this. And give me that tripling enhancement for the torpedo shot. Sure. Why not? That seems like it would give us a nice little buff there. Take a bunch of this stuff that we already have some of. Ooh, Rising Star. Yeah, summon more enemies. That's perfectly fine. Ice Explosion. Why not? Hey, valued customer. Sure, let me just drive that max health up even higher. And make the prospect of my ever being able to heal that high feel even more ridiculous. Curious, if we drop that, do we keep our 6, 7? Yeah, so we don't even need that anymore if we don't want it. We can pivot from valued customer over to something else that's funnier. Because that's just a permanent stat boost. But as it stands, I'll stick with it for now. Until I find something else later. Level up. That is a fun one. So... I'll dump those, pick up level up instead. And look at this massive row of drops that we got out of that. That is ridiculous. Okay. Okay, what can we get here? This one doesn't want to actually give me anything good, so... Guess we'll dump that. Take our health shot. We might actually be able to... who am I kidding? That's highly unlikely. Although, if it does feel like continuing to feed me more of them, the possibility does just keep going up as a result. It's laying down a trail of wanton destruction in a very stupid manner. God, look at all these turrets I have. Oh. Oh, that's incredibly silly. Thank you, game. All right. No health shot. I'm just going to skip that chest entirely. Same with this one. I see all those bananas, but I'm sure I don't need those. I have so much max HP. I'll take health as power, but again, the odds of that actually popping up are kind of low until we get more healing going. Sure, I'll take vampire, I suppose. Stacking hilarious amounts of money as power might be a good idea at some point, because that would give me, well, the amount of build-up that I do with that, the amount of money that the amount of damage I'd gain from it, would get pretty preposterous in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, especially when we have builds like this to make huge amounts of loot drops that we don't need and cannot use, and therefore we just sort of crunch them all down, send them to the Shadow Realm, turn that stuff into money. Alright, so... I guess it's another economy chest because the gauntlet will prevent us from healing. Not that it necessarily, you know, matters too much in one direction or the other, because it's not like we're getting back enough HP to keep our head above water, but hey. It's fine. That's what all the armor is for. Prevent us from dying when we're trapped at 1 HP because of our own monstrously stupid builds. Ooh, yes, this thing. Faulty chests. Well, let's see if we can fit this in somewhere here. I don't think I need those bananas anymore. Our max HP is so high. So deeply, ridiculously large of a number. That I have no qualms just trading that over. I just like to see the stupid numbers happen for a brief second every once in a while. Because wow, the amount of damage we do with some of that stuff. That DPS output is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. there a number on that? It's providing us with over 17,000% damage multiplier. That is ridiculous. Just absolutely, absolutely. Ooh, and we get another one too. Nice. Love it when that happens. Faulty chests already paying off, you see? Giving us a free item that early on. Okay, this one is double, so there will be more enemies here. Mostly, I just would like to be able to get to a place where we can restore some HP to ourselves on a more permanent basis. The odds of it happening are not high, but hey. Very nice. I think I needed that, but I'll take it anyway. Nice. Sure, let's go for this one. God, look at all that bullshit that's happening over there. The little feed can't keep up. Honestly, I don't think it needs to tell you every time you get the gold coating buff. I mean, it's nice to see that I'm getting so much HP from it, or HP money from it, but I certainly don't need it. Yes, I've spawned enough chests this time that some are stuck in the wall. Yes, yes, we've done it. We have gone too far officially. And by that, I mean we have achieved peak roguelike stature. That's the kind of thing you usually kind of aim for with this type of game. And of course, because we're done in the stage, this lava is now inactive. It doesn't hurt us anymore. I don't know how that works, but hey. Who might ask questions? Aside from someone, I guess, who would like to know, but... I'm not that hung up on it, really. Of course, we've moved through several tracks. I've just been sitting here trying to clean up the garbage. Oh, my goodness. All right. Now, on to this part of things. How high is our double vision percent? Only 86. Come on, those are rookie numbers. We can do better than that. Split ability is only at 90%, so it's not maxed out yet. Somebody's out there doing something with their motorcycle, so I can hear them. Thankfully, I don't think that gets picked up by the mic because it's far away for that. So, good thing I didn't mention it, right? Yeah, good thing I didn't mention it. Does it remind me of Ride to Hell Retribution? Oh, it's not that bad. It's just someone with their motorcycle. Well, maybe a little bit. Maybe I am having some flashbacks. Ooh, hidden chest. Alright. Not much of note in there, but hey, we'll take the free goodies anyway. Because honestly, why not? Science isn't about why, it's about why not. Wait. No, I played that game years ago. Don't forget about the other freebies. There we go. Demolish those rocks completely. Another rare treasure. I mean, why not, right? At this point, bomb explosion. Yeah, they usually do that, don't they? Like, I'm no expert here, but... it's just a very silly name, that's all. Oh shit, yeah, this will be amazing for our DPS because the sheer amount of collector boosts we get, plus our combo being basically hard locked up at 8x. Let's see what that... Yeah, 75 stacks, so our current damage bonus 9,000 from that. Oh god, our global damage multiplier 64,547. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of destruction that we can lay down on enemies here. Now, sadly, it's not like one-shotting these bosses, but my expectations weren't going to be that high. It would have been incredible if it did, but the odds of it actually being like that were pretty slim, Mr. Pickens. But on the other hand, what we did get out of it was pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna pause for a minute. I'll be right back, and then we'll run through this biome, and that will probably be pretty near the end of the stream. I think at this point we've passed the point where we get keys anymore, so that's yeah. Anyway, be right back. All right, everybody, I'm back, and let's get back to it with a little bit more crab action here. Yeah. Look at that. So much junk for me to destroy here. And get our amount of money rolled way back up, which will be real funny if the shop item is something stupid enough for us. But who knows what it'll be. And again, I don't know that we're necessarily going to play much further than the boss of this area, because it'll probably come up that that thing doesn't have keys for us anymore, and then I'll get to be like, hey, well, that means the point of this run has run its course. And now that my computer is hot enough to fry an egg on it, well, asterisk, I don't actually know how, like, literally hot it, you know, I don't know if it's literally hot enough to fry an egg on, but, you know, jokes in that, right? No, of course it wouldn't be an XL totem. That wouldn't have spawned yet. Whoops. I'm being a fool again. Icy enemies. Yep. All enemy attacks freeze you. Well, I guess I'll just have to avoid getting hit, as usual. By being borderline uncontrollable. Become ungovernable, and even better, become uncontrollable. Wait, did I say better? I meant, oh ye gods. Yes, we got the barrel rain here, because at this point, why not, right? Sure, just have rain barrels for no good reason. It's not the stupidest thing anybody's ever done with anything of this sort, so I have nothing else to add here. Nope. Didn't notice what that was at first and just destroyed it very preemptively. Look, there's been so much crap here that I can't pick up. I should think that it feels understandable-ish. That up. Sure, more gold coating, why not? Not going to do anything valuable for us in the foreseeable future, but why not? Why not, indeed? Pick that up, and onto the shop. Where our HP once again is destroyed because of that slippery slope, I think was the perk. I forget my greed perks now. Whoops. Oops. Beam turret. I don't have one of those, so... You chuck the spark explosion, and by the beam turret... Not the same as the wave turret. For some reason. I guess one doesn't have the wave beam equipped yet. The other, it's just got the power beam, right? Okay. Now, boss time. So we just rapidly annihilate these things in a wave of electricity. Pain. Yeah, see, no more keys. But on the other hand, I am having a lot of fun. I guess I'll do a little bit more. Wow. What are you? Nothing. And nice. Just clear out the entire everything here. Excellent. I'll take the collector over the damage shot because... Yeah, just keep feeding me those. We're starting to reach a certain point of ridiculousness here. As if we weren't already there to begin with, I guess, but wow. You know, I don't think I ever made note of this, but since we did just pick up an Arcane Claws, the rings that buff certain elements, and I guess all the other perks that buff elements, only show up if you have anything with that element already in your set of stuff. I'm sure none of you are surprised to hear this. But I guess I just wanted to point out that, yeah, like we wouldn't get that arcane ring showing up if we didn't have anything that could inflict the arcane stacks. But since we do, we can get those. Wow. Such information. Incredible. I'm sure you're all, like, really in awe of this bit of factual something or other. Oh god, look at all the orbs. Oh. As I'm just over here Googling, why is my computer screaming? Unfortunately, you can't find out the answers to questions like that on Google anymore, so don't bother. Or you can, you just have to scroll past Gemini and all the Reddit pages and all this other stuff where you have to actually do work in order to get information out of things. What this power do I have at this point? Damage bonus 81%. It's not the amount of that twin ring seems pretty fun. Unfortunately, those really don't give me back any extra HP, but hey. Do whatever at this point, right? Oh, I need actual space to be able to take that. That's unfortunate. I really hoped when I saw the greed totem it would be like, yeah, okay, just force it to be one of the ones that's already in your inventory. You know, the thing that would make it easier. But, nope. No such luck for me. No fun to be had today. Oh well. Ah, that's a heck of a ring. I've never seen that before. Reduces your ability cooldowns by 50%. That's pretty nice. Anything here that's low enough that I could throw out? I mean, I really do not use these lightning dashes. So, hell with it. Just take that. Take the mega crits. Oh, it's maxed out, so we can't do anything more with it. Well, that's unfortunate. I was hoping it would let me overstack, even though there would be no point to it. It would just be so that way I could make the number go up. Oh well. Oh well. Anyway, that I think. Well, I guess I should die and end the run properly here. You know, just so I can say that I did. Assuming if there's anything here that kills through not explosive damage. Shooting that thing may have ended up causing a problem. Yeah, this might take a minute. So I guess what I can say right now, because I did actually get to a part in this game that, you know, a point where I'm glad to have gotten to. Oh, I can't multitask on the same computer anyway. I got the Speedrunner 3 achievement on this, and the Speedrunner achievements are all just for getting through a certain number of islands in X amount of time. Speedrunner 3 requires you to do 5 whole loops of the game. So 140 islands in 70 minutes. Yes, that's a whole average of... Oh, that guy is still coming back. Okay. A whole average of 30 seconds each that you're allowed on them. I had given up on that months ago as being, like, just implausible. It was outside of my playstyle. And then I accidentally fumbled into the second tier of Speedrunner achievement on a pretty high difficulty. And I was just like, okay, that puts it back in play. So I decided to just go for it. And I eventually managed to get there. I have the screenshot in my Discord somewhere. Unfortunately, I would have to actually go and, like, Alt-tab out in order to post a link. I'd probably have to upload it somewhere, but the main thing I can say is I'm going to go scroll back and I'm going to see what my total time was for it. And remember, you have 70 minutes to pull that off. You have 1 hour and 10 minutes to do that. And we took more than twice that this time in order to not quite get there before I decided, okay, we're not actually getting anything else out of this run. That's enough. Let's let this end. So let me go ahead and keep scrolling through here. This might take a minute. But it will give you an idea as to how monstrously tight this sort of thing can get. When did I do this? It must have been like a month. Must have been like a month ago or so. What dropped? Why did I get a ping for a drop upgrade? What? Okay, game, sure. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. Oh, this really is just taking forever to scroll up through this. Granted, I'm doing it on my phone, so... Probably would have been faster for me to actually go and find this information on my PC Discord, and then I'd just be like, well, yeah, this will wind itself up reasonably quickly-ish. Taking that long to kill me when I'm at 1 HP, that was funny as hell. Take a look at those numbers. That's a lot. We dealt like almost 4 billion damage if you round up a little bit hard. Anyway, now I get to go look at this on the PC and see what my time was for when I got this. Because, yeah, now I'm curious-ish. Okay. Yeah, so I got it in 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 36 seconds. Not a lot of wiggle room, and there was a lot of me just zooming through and skipping over shops, basically. So that was really tight for that achievement. Maybe someday I'll try doing it again on stream. I don't know that I'm going to be super happy about that idea, but hey. Anyway, folks, that was a lot of crab game, and that is going to do for our Thursday stream. Tomorrow here in America, we've got Black Friday sales going on, so let me just say to everybody, be safe out there. That blender is not worth it when your life is on the line.